Hey everybody, welcome to Kimmel's Irish Pub. Time for another movie review. Tonight's movie, The Beaver. I don't know how I missed this. 2011 movie. Here we are, 9 years later, and I've never seen it. Mel Gibson's in it. Jodie Foster's in it. Anton Yelchin, rest his soul, is in it. I used to like that kid. I thought he was great. Anyway, this movie is about a toy executive or a CEO of some sort who starts to use a hand puppet, which I assume is a beaver, to open up and communicate with his family. He starts going into some depression. So his wife is Jodie Foster, who also, I believe, directs this movie, and his son is Anton Yelchin. So, you know, and he is, of course, oh, Jennifer Lawrence is also in it. So, I don't know, kind of interesting. I've never seen it, never heard of it. 6.4 on IMDb, so let me get into it, find out what it's really about, give you a better idea of the synopsis, and ultimately let you know what I think. Stick around, I'll be back. Hey everybody, I want to do a quick check-in here. We're watching The Beaver. We're at the 57-minute, 25-second mark. And I almost didn't do a check-in, but then I thought to myself, it's my duty now to let you know a little bit more about this movie. Maybe you have no clue, like me. I came into it, right? Mel Gibson with a puppet on his hand. What immediately do you think? It's probably going to be funny, right? There's kind of some like back and forth maybe between the puppet and Mel Gibson, and I get it. He uses this as a crutch for his depression. Let me tell you, not funny at all. There's no funny parts. There's nothing. It is depressing. The guy has depression. I get it, you know, and becomes suicidal, but then for some reason has this puppet take over a new personality for him, and cannot operate, you know, functionally without this puppet. So Jodie Foster, his wife, can't talk to her. He has to talk to the puppet. Kids, work. He's a CEO of a toy company. It kind of works that way, but you know what I mean? But it's all through this puppet. And like, okay, that's fine, but you would think that there's going to be some funny moments or something like that. There's nothing like that. He's got like a 5-year-old kid that is enamored with the beaver, but so very depressing, heavy, not fun movie. Now, that aside, I probably would have turned it off if that's all it was. But as I mentioned, Jennifer Lawrence is in this movie, and Anton Yelchin, and that plot, that could be a movie on its own, and it's more fun to watch, and that's the only reason I'm keeping this movie on. I love that kid. I wish, you know, I feel so bad for what happened to him. He was a great young actor. I liked everything he's in, and I love him in this, you know. And then this is a young Jennifer Lawrence. I liked her in this light too. So she's the valedictorian of her class, cheerleader, Miss Popular, where Anton is maybe not so much. Kind of quiet type, you know, smart, book smart kind of guy. Writes other people's papers, so she looks to him to help write her valedictorian speech because she can't do it, and so they're starting a little bit of a relationship there, which also becomes rocky. You know, certain things happen that, you know, strain on that relationship. It's not that in depth because we're taking over a little bit more Beaver than we should be focusing on young love that we have developing here, and of course his father comes in at one point, you know, so she gets to see the beaver talking with the hand, kind of embarrassing as a high school kid. Anyway, that's where we are. So, I mean, you take the whole Mel Gibson, Jodie Foster beaver hand out of this movie, it's pretty good. I like it. You throw that in there, it's awful for me. I mean, I get it. I want to have sympathy for people who have these types of issues, and I understand that, but it's not fun to watch. It doesn't make good movie for me. So that's where we are. 57 minutes. 57 minutes where 80% of it's depressing. But, you know, like that little thing that's going on the side, the subplot, which would have been a better movie, we still got that going on. So, there you have it. If you really want to watch a depressing movie, this is one for you. But if you want to see something with Anton in it, and, you know, his early years and how good he was, you can check it out. But let me get into it here a little bit more. There's only a couple more minutes left. It's an hour and 30 minutes long. If anything changes between in there, I'll let you know at the end. But ultimately, I think I'm pretty decided on this movie. But stick around anyway. I'll be back at the credits. Hey everybody, we're at the credits of the Beaver, and whew, as I had mentioned, heavy, dark, depressing type movie about depression. So, with all that said, and I kind of laid that on pretty thick at the check-in, so I won't go over that anymore. I will tell you this, again, the subplot was much better than the actual plot. The acting is phenomenal. I liked everybody in it. Except for the Beaver. And the fact that Mel Gibson really wasn't a ventriloquist, so you could see his mouth when the Beaver was talking. So, anyway, besides that, you know, the movie, oof, you got to be in the right mood to watch it. And I'll tell you that if you make it through it, it gets a little bit better, you know. It gets really deep and dark and, you know, not fun to watch, but, you know, in the end, it's, okay, if you know what I mean. I don't want to spoil it for you, but, you know, you'll figure it all out. If you do, go ahead and watch it if you haven't seen it already, but, whew, not a fun one. So don't go into it thinking it's a fun movie with a puppet, Mel Gibson, and comedy. There's no laughter had whatsoever. Maybe there was. I missed it. It doesn't ring a bell when I think back about this movie. This movie's just heavy. But good acting, good subplot, great actors. There you go. That's what I got for you. Hopefully that's helpful in some form or fashion. If you were thinking about watching it, maybe you won't go into it as blind as I was, and now you know what it's about, and you'll be in the right mood when you go to watch it. Instead of like me, who I thought, okay, I'm going to laugh a little bit. No, not going to laugh. Alright, that's it. Thanks for tuning in. If you saw it, drop me some comments. Love to hear your thoughts. Always like some comments. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. That would be fantastic. Tell all your friends, of course, and continue to tune in. Kimmel's Irish Pub.